I had a pretty like risky kind of like gambly life for a long time. So
Really?
I've gotten my thrills out for the most part. So I'm
How
kind
was
of
your
like,
life risky in gambling?
I used to just sell drugs. So I was like, people
Uh,
would go to the casino, and I was like, dude, I do this every day. Like I could be devastated every day.
what kind of drugs were you selling? Everything?
Just weed, yeah, mostly weed, and then like I tried to sell coke. I wasn't cut out for that.
How was it? I mean, I sold a couple of bags, so
Yeah.
I realized, and I bought a million of them back
Yeah,
in
true,
the
yeah,
day.
true.
So I went over to people's houses and watched them play video games and
That's all it is.
sat there and yeah,
You play Xbox for like an hour, and then you just make $1,000. You're like, yes.
yeah.
But
But
it was like
how
it
was the
risky.
coke stuff?
Terrible. I didn't do it. That was the thing. So I
Oh.
didn't do it. I didn't like what it like did to people. I was like 19, so I didn't really know. But that was like when I was like that was like genuinely scary because like weed is like people are mostly cool,
Yeah,
except to a certain point. If you get up high enough, you know, when the money gets high enough, it'll be like you deal with like real actual crime. Like you were talking about home invasions. It's like, dude, there's guys that'll do that, and it's like it's so fucking scary, and they're so scary too.
so you got into that level.
I've got I was in a house that got invaded. I was never a home invasion kind of guy, but yeah, I got up to like I would get like 35 pounds. Like that was
You'd buy 35?
yeah, I would get them front it, but I would commanded 35 pounds.
That's a lot, bro.
I know, scary. That's what I was saying. I got my like.
But
Just,
how would that 35 get to you?
it would get dropped off at somebody else's house, and then we have like a storage unit, and we would just like go down that. You get to like pick between the strains. Like I want 4 Blue Dreams, 6 like sour diesels.
So
and we
was
would, like,
was that amount split amongst a couple other people?
it was me and one other guy.
You and one other guy.
So we would get like 70 dropped off, and we get to split them.
And what was your selling like? Like, what were you? How much were you selling at a time? You know what I mean? Were you
Yeah, it was
dispersing down?
mostly like my big people were like 2 to 3. Sometimes people take 5 pounds. That was like my most. I would give people like 5 at a time.
So they were dealers too. Like,
Yeah.
look, okay.
I would find people and then be like, I think and you kind of like slowly front them and get them a little bit more. Then you eventually are like, I'll give you like 2 pounds. Like, oh, it's like, you'll be fine.
yeah.
And then you just and then you just start dropping it off and like collect your money.
So that's real money though, right?
Yeah, I was chilling for a while in my early 20s. I was having a good time. But but then like you get robbed. Everyone, you're like, you know, if you think of it like your employees, it's like the most unreliable.
Yeah.
People are getting DUIs. It's like people couldn't just chill. They'd be like, I got hammered and I started running around selling. It's like, why did you do that?
Why?
Then they get in trouble. People get addicted to drugs. It's like, it's a really,
Was there a one incident thing that got you out of it, or was it just a gradual thing?
not really. I got like robbed at gunpoint a bunch of times and I was just like, or I should say I got robbed at gunpoint twice, but I guess that's not a bunch of times.
From somebody you knew probably, or like it was a setup thing?
It was like someone I knew would set up with somebody who would then be like, my friend's gonna come, and then someone that person knew would just be like, I'm gonna set this up like a robbery because everyone got bad on pills. So you get people who get bad on like
Yeah.
pills who then would be buying like heroin. Now they're introducing like heroin guys to being like, hey, I owe you money, but I know this one guy who could like who's like, I can help you rob him, and they'd be like, yeah, let me do that.
And when you got robbed, was it for the weed or for the cash?
For the both.
For both.
Yeah, they got me for both. They got me for both. Yeah, the postal also like we would mail it a lot. So like we had the postal police take like I mailed like 35 grand and they just were like, yeah, that's ours.
Fuck.
And I was like, fuck.
Those are huge losses though, right?
I know. I've been wiped out financially like, again, if I had like I'm like 25, 26 with like 40 grand, I'm like, this is crazy. And just go to zero. I've done it like 2 or 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
And were you mailing cash because you owed it to?
Well, you would mail it to if like you could buy it once it got here, but as soon as a pound of weed comes from California, it's the driver itself. That's like 400 per pound they're tacking on, and then it's going to go to a person who's going to tack probably 3 to 4 or whatever on each one. But if you can get it directly from California, you can skip all that. But they got to mail it to you, so you open yourself up to the risk of catching a package in the mail.
Yeah.
And then you got to like hopefully it's not being followed or whatever. So.
But you were mailing cash out to Cali?
Yeah, through my friend. I would like give it to my friend. He would mail it to California.
Fuck. So you have zero after this.
Was wiped out. I've done it like oddly it becomes kind of a peaceful feeling though to get totally wiped out. After
Yeah.
like the 3rd time, I like perversely kind of liked it.
You're like, oh, here we go.
So I would just go back to painting houses and be like, damn it, right back to the salt mine. I would just paint houses and kind of like do stand up and work my way back up.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, but eventually it just became ridiculous. I was like, I'd have to stop. It wasn't really the kids were the big thing.
Yeah.
Once I had kids, I was like, I can't. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I go to jail, that'd be so sad.
Yeah, I remember a couple of friends that were selling, and it was funny because when you're in high school and getting into college, you're talking about like an ounce here and the I remember how it makes sense, but you get more brazen with like the longer you're around and more comfortable. And then one time I'm with my friend, he pulls up and he's got just like QPs like on the seat, and and I'm like, you're just driving around like this?
It becomes so normal, you forget. The first like month, I remember like I think I've fried my nervous system, but the first couple months, your like legs are shaking. Anytime a cop's around you, you have like an ounce of weed, you're like, oh, fucked. And then you get like, you just forget it's even illegal. I would just drive around like it was like a normal job. It's like,
you're like,
but then if a cop does pull up behind you, you're like, it's just like ice water. Your veins just sort of like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that's really bad for you. And also it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, it's genuinely, when people say it's bad, I was always like, it's weed. Like, who cares? But when you're doing that, you're essentially, you have to lie to everybody you talk to,
which is not good.
It's not good, and it like literally become like a liar. Like you have to lie. It's nonstop kind of games and manipulation, and it's like your relationships excuse them, because then you're like, I don't really want to tell this person I'm with exactly what I'm doing, and it's like, because if it goes south, they can kind of fuck me.
Who knew? Did your closest friends know?
People knew kind of, but I always would kind of like, I wouldn't really ever tell people the scale for the most part, except for a couple people.
The scale is alarming.
The scale was kind of alarming.
Yeah, when you said 35 years, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah.
Yeah, and it would just be in like a storage unit, and then like, or like I'd bring it to my house, and then it's like every time you leave your house, you're just like, somebody's definitely going and taking that from me. So like, it's just constant anxiety.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's like, just go get a job. It's like boredom. It's either you're bored or you're going to be like hair-raisingly anxious, and it's like being bored's better. You can always just like join CrossFit and do jiu-jitsu or something.
Yeah, work it out another way.
Yeah, just gamble or you don't have to risk your freedom, but
fuck, man. Yeah.
It was cool. I kind of did that from like 18 to embarrassingly not that long ago.
And now you're a successful comedian.
Yeah, thank God, man.
So
Otherwise, I would have been in jail. But
now you can walk around and go, man, can you believe I got this clean money?
Yeah, yeah, true. Thank God I got robbed so much that for real, I could just show the IRS like, bro, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Got robbed. Take it up with that other guy. But it is crazy because then people rob you, and then you learn later, like, karma really is, like, it gets people. Like, I would just learn about people who rob me, and, like, bad stuff happens to people.
Feels like you're lucky that you learn these lessons without having to suffer the worst consequences.
For sure.
Right?
Jail. Yeah. You feel kind of bad, though, not going. Usually there's the big redemptive arc where you're like, and then I got arrested. And it's like, when you're like, nah, it kind of worked out. People
now
are
I
like,
sell
fuck
tickets
you.
on the road.
Yeah.